Welcome back to Decked Out.
On today's episode, we are joined by CovertGoBlue and Maldhound for a very special Color Pie Shake-Up episode. Thanks to our patron, Jesus, each player has brought to the table a deck that's designed in a way for the colors to win in ways that those colors don't typically win.
As always, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard, but more on them later in the video.
That's enough from us for now. Let's go ahead and meet the players.
Hello everybody, it's me, it's CGB, and today I'm going to show that Storm is for all of the colors. I'm playing Thrasta Tempest Roar, and I'm gonna get a big green dinosaur at an absurdly low cost.
Hello everyone, my name's Maldhound. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram touching cards, attempting to touch your heart, but most importantly, telling you whether or not I'd touch your commander's parts. Today, I am playing Death by 1,000 Paper Cuts, a deck made by Jesus, and I'm returning to my roots. Mono blue. Tetsuko Umezawa allows things that are bad at hitting or bad at getting hit to sneak by for free every single combat, and I'll be aiming to rack up damage and card draw.
Hello everybody, I'm MTGNerdGirl, and today I am playing Brokos Party Leader and the background Haunted One. My game plan is to use my mono black deck, but play it a little differently by turning creatures sideways, putting them into the red zone. We are going to do a lot of combat with Brokos, drain my opponent out, and get a bunch of value with the creatures that we play.
Okay, when most people think of Boros, they think either tiny aggressive creatures or big aggressive creatures. And I have the opposite for you today with Jenny Generated Anomaly. Nothing dirtles quite like the deck I'm about to show you. It's Boros Landfall. We're trying to put our lands in the graveyard, take advantage of the fact that our opponents have more than ours, and put a bunch of lands into play and take advantage of landfall triggers to hopefully generate enough value to make up for not having any other card advantage in the deck.
What if there was a way to support your favorite Commander gameplay show Decked Out and top quality Magic the Gathering accessories and make them kiss? That's Ultimate Guard.
Today's episode sponsor is Ultimate Guard. If you guys would like to pick up some sweet accessories for yourself, like anything you see featured here on the show, sleeves or playmats, you can use our link down below in the description to support us. Special thank you to Ultimate Guard for sponsoring the show.
Let's get to the game.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first. 5.
17?
11.
6.
Okay. I'm gonna play a Plains and immediately use it for a turn 1 Soul Ring. And I'll pass the turn.
Restart, camera didn't work, wasn't ready. What else we got?
Need all the help I can get.
I'm going to play an island and leave it up ominously and pass.
I like it already. Forest. Wild Growth. I'm doing green things. It's impressive, I know. Wild Growth is an aura that enchants a land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds a green.
I too have a turn 1 play. Let's go Swamp for a Blood-Soaked Champion. Champion can't block, and if I attack in a turn, I can pay 2 and return it from the graveyard to the battlefield. Only if I attacked. Pass.
Winning the die roll kind of sucked.
Is this not the most airball?
It kind of is.
Turn 1 Soul Ring. Turn 2, God, I hate going first.
It kind of stinks.
Woe's me, I only have 3 mana.
Let's play a mountain, and we'll pay 4 for my otherwise irrelevant commander, Jenny Generated Anomaly. She is a 2/3 double striker. When she deals combat to a player, she explores.
So you get 2 Explore triggers when it hits somebody.
Yes.
And you played on turn 2.
Correct.
And you went first.
Yes.
And you said irrelevant.
And he's having a bad time.
Because it's not what the deck is trying to do. I don't want to kill you. That's no fun. I want to do weird things with lands. I'll pass the turn.
All right, I'm gonna draw. Okay. I'm going to play another island and really get into the spirit of this deck by passing.
Most impressive.
Sorry, go.
Upkeep.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
For now.
Draw. Come on, Blue Mage. What was that? I see you twitching. 2 mana. Emerald Medallion.
Oh
Green
my
spells
God.
cost 1 less to cast.
Resolves.
Forest and reduced by Emerald Medallion. Elvish. Visionary. When it enters the battlefield, I'll draw a card.
Sure.
You hate elves.
I do.
Is that why you look like you want to counter something so badly, but yet are struggling with principles of what to counter? Go ahead.
All right. I am a little concerned. Swamp. Bitter Blossom?
In response,
Oh, no.
I flash in Malcolm Alluring Scoundrel.
That's okay.
Malcolm is a 2/1 flyer, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, I put a chorus counter on it, draw a card, and then discard a card. And if Malcolm has 4 or more chorus counters, I can cast the discarded card without paying for it.
Okay, Bitter Blossom is an enchantment. At the beginning of my upkeep, I get to make a 1/1 Black Fairy Rogue and lose a life. CGB.
I know what you're thinking. I will block.
I'm okay with that.
I will do it to send a message, and you'll just be helping the person who's the furthest ahead.
I would love it if he blocked. That would make me very happy.
What else am I going to do with it? It can't block.
Yep. It's about the principle of the thing. I will block.
All
If
right.
Elvish missed it. Elvish Visionary, that is. It's
fine by
the
me.
principle of the thing.
Pass the turn.
All right.
You're welcome, Airball.
I appreciate that. Let's go straight to combat. And Jenny is coming at CGB.
Your threat assessment is suspect. I will take the damage.
Well, we take the first 2 for that. We're going
first
to
2.
explore. The first card on my deck is a Plains. I'll take that to hand. And then the second one,
Bam, bam.
second explore trigger is a Boros Garrison. I'm going to go ahead and play this Boros Garrison as my land for turn. It taps for red-white, and I bounce another land to my hand, and I'm going to bounce this mountain to my hand. And I think I have to just pass, and I have to discard to hand size. Discard 2 cards to hand size. Even.
Got him.
Oh no.
Yep,
Poor Airball.
I know.
Won't somebody think of the poor Boros player with an overfull hand?
I would appreciate it if you did.
Oh, yeah.
Who went first with Soul Ring in his opener? How was he to feed his family?
How dare you explore for card advantage?
Pass.
Okay. I will untap. I will draw. Okay. I will play a land for turn. I'm going to move immediately to combat, and I'm going to hit the green player. I'm going to swing Malcolm at you for 2.
Your threat assessment is excellent.
It's the principle of the thing.
But okay, you got it.
And because they've dealt combat damage, they will get 1 chorus counter. I will then draw and discard. Oh, heck yes. I'm going to discard an island. In main phase 2, I'm going to tap 1 blue mana and ponder my orbs. I get to look at the top 3 cards of my library, put them back in any order. I can shuffle, and then I get to draw. So I'm not going to shuffle. I'll draw this, and then I will pass the turn with an ominous amount of mana up.
It sure is. I will untap and draw. I didn't know green could do this stuff. I'm going to attempt to harmonize and draw 3 cards. I will play Tapped Mosspark Bridge and Hideaway 4. I may play the exiled card if I have total power of 10 or greater among all the creatures I control. Then I'm done.
All right. I am going to get to lose a life and make a Fairy Rogue. I'm going to play a Rogue's Passage for turn. And I'm just going to play my background from the command zone. We're going to play Haunted One. Commander creatures I own have whenever this creature becomes tapped. All creatures that share a creature type with it get +2/+0 until end of turn and undying. That'll do it, and I'll pass.
Okay, we're going to pay 3 for a Space Marine Scout. It is a 2/1 first strike vigilance. When it ETBs, if an opponent controls more lands than me, I can find a plains and put it onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. CGB controls 3, I control 2. Thank you. Stop that. I'm going to go to combat. Jenny's attacking Maldhound.
Hey, yo!
You're making me uncomfortable.
I'll let it through.
Okay. First explore trigger hits Winds of Abandon, and I think I will keep that on top. Jenny is also going to get a counter, and the second strike will hit for 3.
I'll take 3.
I'm going to keep that on top again, and we'll have 2 counters on Jenny. And then mid phase 2, I'm going to play Lotus Field as my land for turn. And I will sacrifice these 2 planes for its trigger. Lotus Field is a land that is hexproof and can tap for 3 mana of any 1 color. And I'll pass to Maldhound.
I will untap. Oh, wow. Look at that. I play Scalding Tarn. I'm going to immediately pay 1 life, tap, and sacrifice it to search my library for an island or mountain. So it'll be an island. I'm going to move to combat and swing at Airball, since apparently we're not being cooled. It's going to be 2 in the air at you.
That's fine. I'll take 2.
Okay. Once Malcolm deals combat damage, he gets another chorus counter. I will draw a card. Oh, I don't want to discard any of these. I will discard this island. Tetsuka Umezawa, fugitive and leader of Tiny Meat Gang. Creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked, so if it has a stumpy front or a long back, it's getting through no matter what. And from there, I will pass the turn.
1 green for Abundant Harvest. I choose land or non-land and reveal cards from the top of the library until a card of the chosen kind is revealed. Put it into my hand, the rest in the bottom at random. I'm going to choose non-land. And right away, I get a spell book. It's not particularly fun to go right after you.
Is it not?
Not particularly.
Not with 2 open mana at all times.
I'll play a forest. I will play a Phyrexian Walker. It is an 0/3 artifact creature.
That's it?
What?
There's no more?
Does it resolve?
I guess.
Does it resolve?
It does. It does.
I will play a spell book. It's a 0 mana artifact that says I have no maximum hand size. I have all these cards.
You do
Does
have
it resolve?
It does.
I'll cast my commander. It's a 12 mana 7/7 legendary dinosaur. I can cast it for 2. It has trample. It tramples over planeswalkers, and it has haste as hexproof. As long as it enters the battlefield this turn, it won't attack you.
Comes out then.
Airball winning the die roll and playing a Soul Ring made me think he was really going to be the problem for the majority of this game. But here we are just 2 rounds later and CGB is going off. I definitely need to find some answers for all the crazy things that he's doing.
I will tap 2 more, because why not? Skullspore Nexus. Spell costs X less, where X is the greatest power among creatures I control, so that is 7. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures I control die, I make a green fungus dinosaur creature token with base power and toughness equal to the power of those creatures. For 2 and a tap, I can double target creature's power until end of turn.
Maldhound, it's time to stop pretending to be a blue player and actually be one.
Hey, as you know, blue player to blue player here. We don't have to use all our interaction on the very first turn after yours, and I could just, punch some other people who are doing plenty of punching.
I firmly believe in the power of trampolines, and it doesn't all need to be counter spells. I will allow that to resolve.
Who's wronged me? Who must know the pain?
So a wise Magic player once told me that you should focus the person directly after you in the turn order because they're your biggest problem.
Yeah, that's right. Unless they have Soul Ring, Airball 7.
Yeah, that's fair. I will not block. Take 7.
Dinosaur. That is a big dinosaur.
Then I'm done.
Okay. I will lose another life and get a fairy. I'm going to just play my commander, Brokos Party Leader. Brokos is a cleric, rogue, warrior, and a wizard. And whenever he attacks, defending player loses X life and you gain X treasures where X is the number of members in your party. Any reach over there, CGB?
I mean, my arms are particularly long. I can grab many things. My wife appreciates my ability to reach high things.
Take 1. Meow.
Okay, I will.
I'll pass turn.
I'm going to tap Lotus Field and play this Claim Jumper. It is a 3/3 vigilance. When it comes into play, if an opponent controls more lands than me, I can put a Plains card into play, and then do it again if they still control more lands than me. And that will happen twice, so I'll put 2 lands into play.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, 2 lands I'm going to put into play are this Sacred Foundry and this Elegant Parlor. And when that enters the battlefield, I will Surveil 1. I'm going to put this Rustveil Bridge into the bin. And now I think it's time to go to combat. Send Jenny at NerdGirl and the Space Marine Scout at Maldhound.
So you're sending a 2-1 into my 1-3.
It's a 1-3.
Tetsuko, yeah.
That sounds fair. I'll just chump with my fairy rogue. You get nothing.
I just wanted to.
Ninja vanish.
Okay, sure.
Oh my Mabo Shinderu.
Play the mountain as land for turn, and we'll pay 3 more for an Alpine Guide. It is a 3/3 ETB. Search for a mountain card and put it into play tapped. Attacks every combat if able, and when it leaves, I have to sacrifice a mountain. All right, put this mountain into play tapped. That's gonna do it for the turn.
Okay. In main phase 1, pay 3 mana to hardcast the Prosperous Thief. This is a ninja who notably does not have tiny meat, so does not benefit from Tetsuko's trigger, but whenever one or more ninja or rogue creatures I control deal combat damage to a player, I make a treasure token. So I'm going to move to combat from there, and I'm going to swing Malcolm at Airball and Tetsuko at NerdGirl. So that'll be 1 damage to NerdGirl, 2 damage to Airball.
What is happening?
We can't be talking crazy about going to 37 when his hand is where his hip be at. You cannot.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea.
He's going to lethal us. Take 1. I hope he kills you.
I'll take 2.
I need to butter him up so that he doesn't murder me until slightly later. And then on that combat damage trigger, I'm going to get a treasure token and a Malcolm triggered. So I'll make 1 treasure, then I will draw 1 card, and I do need that. I am going to discard Long-Term Plans, which is a tutor, because I'm placing my faith in Yugi Moto, my grandpa. If he wants me to win, I'll have it up here. Chorus counters up to 3, so the next time Malcolm deals combat damage, I will begin free casting. And I'm going to play this island, and I'm going to pass with 3 mana open.
I'm going to try to cast this Life's Legacy. I am going to sacrifice my commander to attempt to draw 7 cards.
Is that part of the cost or part of the spell?
It is part of the cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never wanted it.
I am going to tap 1 and cast Swan Song.
Yep, Swan Song counters Life's Legacy, and I make a bird. I
Yes.
also do get a 7.
Yes.
7.
You do get a big fungus.
Yep, I get a big old fungus. I will activate the Skullspore Nexus to double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. I'm going to target my bird. Does that resolve?
Yeah, Maldhound has 2 blue that he's been holding open since the beginning of the game. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're trusting Maldhound with something?
I'm sorry. Did you want me to let the Life's Legacy resolve? Should I have let him draw 7? That's my fault, you guys.
I will make my land drop. I will activate Mossport Bridge, and I will cast an Arbor Elf. Does it resolve?
Yes.
Arbor Elf. I wish it were more. Is 1 mana 1/1 that can tap to untap target forest. My commander died for this. Pass.
Okay, I will lose a life and get back a fairy rogue. All right, I'm going to go just straight into combat. We're going to send the commander, Brokos, at Maldhound and a fairy at CGB. They will both get +2/+0 and Undying because of the Haunted One. And with the attack trigger on the stack, I will pay 2 to return the Bloodsoaked Champion with its raid ability, so that way I can also get a warrior. So my party will have 3 members in it. The defending player will lose 3 life, and I will create 3 treasures.
It's petty targeting, and I'm here for it.
Okay, pettiness starts with you.
Yeah, pettiness starts here. I'm gonna let this one go. I'm going
to keep sending a message. I block with the bird.
Okay, then we will trade.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Take 4. That'll be my turn.
I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to send Jenny and the Claim Jumper at Maldhound.
So cool. I'm gonna tap 1 crack a treasure. I'm going to discard Otawara to bounce your commander to your hand.
Oh, that's sneaky. I like it.
Okay, I'll declare no blocks and take the 3.
I mean, I don't know that I'm going to get another chance to resolve this, so let's go ahead and pay 6 to overload Winds of Abandon.
Boom.
And we'll exile every creature I don't control, and then you guys all get to search for basics equal to the number of things you lost and put them into play tapped.
Force of Will?
No, I'm happy with this. I don't like any of the stuff you guys got going on.
I pass priority, Nerd Girl.
I don't want my Bloodsoaked champion to get exiled because he's cool. So I'm going to cast a Deadly Dispute, and I'm going to sack it as an additional cost to draw 2 cards and create an additional treasure. So we'll go to 4. I'll draw 2. That thing goes into the graveyard. We're good?
Okay. And I guess we'll just go ahead and pay 4 to replay Jenny from my hand and pass the turn.
All right, I will untap, see how much Yugi cares for me. Not a lot. We're going to tap 4 for the Bident of Thassa, which whenever a creature I control deals combat damage, I get to draw a card. I have none of those, so I will attempt to fix that by tapping an additional 4 for the Murmuring Mystic, a 1/5, so a certified member of Tiny Meat Gang, and whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, I make a 1/1 blue bird illusion creature token with flying and Tiny Meat. And from there I will pass.
More birds. Let's start this glorious recovery turn by paying a green to cast the adventure side of Virtue of Strength. This is Garenbrig Growth, a sorcery that lets me return target creature or land card from my graveyard to my hand. I have chosen the Elvish Visionary as my only legal target. And then Virtue of Strength will go on an adventure. Then Virtue of Strength will continue its adventure to the battlefield. I'm going to cast it, and now all basic lands I control tap for 3 times as much mana. I'll tap my forest for 3 green. And I'll use 1 green because of Emerald Medallion to cast the Elvish Visionary from my hand. If that enters the battlefield, I will draw a card. Forest as land for turn. I'll pay the 2 green. I will tap the forest for 3. So this is going to leave 1 total because this overall costs like 4. With Emerald Medallion, the 3 spells I've cast, and the triple mana. And I'll cast my commander. Thrasta, Tempest Roar has returned. And now the only question is, who gonna catch these hands? I will use the green mana in my mana pool and tap the forest, which will net 2 more green in the mana pool to use the Skullspore Nexus to double the power and toughness of the Thrasta to a 14/14.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And its victim will be
Nose goes.
Airball.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to throw both the Alpine Guide and the Claim Jumper under the bus to try to soak 6 of it.
Yep.
So I'll take 8 Commander.
No further effects over here.
And when the Alpine Guide dies, I'll have to sacrifice a mountain, and it's going to be this guy.
All right, I've had a lovely turn. I'll pass it to Nerd Girl.
Okay. I'll lose a life, and I'll get back a pretty rogue. My land for turn is going to be Minas Morgul, or Cabal Coffers. I can pay 2 and tap it and get a swamp for each swamp I control, which is currently 4. So it does net me 1 extra land. And I will do that. I will tap for 4, and we're going to start with Aganti. He's a 2/3 Death Touch that says I can look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library, exile 1 of them face down, put the rest on the bottom in a random order. I can look at it as long as it remains exiled, and I can spend mana as though they were any color to cast that spell. Who is more likely?
It's not me. I promise it's not me.
You don't have Path of Exiles and stuff in there?
I will tell you that I do not have Path of Exile in there. Yep, NerdGirl definitely wouldn't hit Path of Exile if she targeted my deck. It's definitely not in my deck. I have no idea where it might be, but it's certainly not in my deck.
This isn't an attack on you. This is to help find an answer for the dinosaur.
I'm happy to see you embrace counterspells no matter the personal cost. So
Counterspell,
it's 4.
bounce spell. It gets
Yeah.
us 4 deeper in your deck
Yeah,
to try
yeah,
to
yeah,
find
yeah.
a dinosaur.
No,
problem.
we're all good. We're all good.
For 6 mana, I will go ahead and recast my commander. Barakos is back. And for 1 more, we're going to cast Master of the Dark Rites. I can tap it to sacrifice another creature, and it allows me to add 3 black mana, but I can only spend it to cast a vampire, cleric, or demon. All right, that is going to do it. Everything is summoning 6, so Airball, your go.
All right. Let's pay 4, and let's get aggressive. I'm going to play Aggressive Mining. It's an enchantment. I can't play lands anymore. I can sack a land to draw 2 cards. Yeah, okay, pass.
Okay. I'm going to move to combat. I'm going to swing the Murmuring Mystic at CGB. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Forgot Tiny Meat Gang isn't here.
Correct.
I'm going to pass to main phase 2 like a good boy.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to pass the turn like a better boy.
On Maldhound's end step, I'm going to pay 3, and we're going to Chaos Warp the Virtue of Strength. It's going to get shuffled into your library, then you reveal the top card, and if it's a permanent, it gets put into play, which scares me.
Go ahead and flip it.
Oh.
I want credit to be given. Boom.
Got him, GG's.
Ramped. Just what we needed. I'll play this Wirewood Lodge. It can green and tap to untap target elf. I will attempt to cast Tangleweave Armor. This is a 4-mana artifact equipment with living weapon. An equipped creature gets +X/+X, where X is the greatest mana value among commanders.
Huh. Okay.
Responses?
I'm cool with that.
Really? Moving to combat.
Yep.
Maldhound.
Ooh, that's not good. We're gonna tap 7. Ooh, we're gonna overload Cyclonic Rift. Ooh.
Shocking.
Oh, shit.
And I do get a 1/1 bird for the Murmuring Mystic.
Getting Maldhound to cast the Cyclonic Rift in my combat step while I still have my second main phase to redeploy is key. The power of the card is that you can do it on someone else's end step, untap, and make the first move. But now I get to make the first move, and it's gonna be a big one.
I'm so tired of being collateral damage.
I have no response.
I have a response. It's not going to save anyone, but I'm going to sack this mountain to my Aggressive Mining, and I'll draw 2.
That's my go.
I will pass through combat, dealing 0 damage. Like every green player that dared challenge a blue mage.
Please leave me alone.
I'll tap 1 for a wild growth. I will target this particular forest this time and let it feel special. I will tap that forest for an Emerald Medallion. Green spells cost 1 less. I will play a spellbook for free. I will cast my commander for 2 because I've reduced the cost a great deal this turn. I will cast Rishkar's Expertise. I will draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures I control, and I might cast a spell with mana value 5 or less from my hand without paying its cost. Ooh, this is nice. I'll replay the Tangleweave Armor. That was a cool one. My Germ token wants a second chance. I'll pass the turn.
All right, let's start with a swamp. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and tap for 5 mana. Minas Morgul will tap for 5, so I have 5 swamps. And I'm going to replay Gaunty.
Going back in.
I need more cards, Maldhound, please.
Needs more counter spells.
Embrace the blue.
All right,
Gets you ready.
this card is going underneath. I will tap 3 more because I had 1 floating, and I'm going to replay my commander. Whee! All right, and then we're going to tap 1 more and play a Dark Ritual. I get to add 3 black mana to my mana pool. I'm going to use that to recast my background, Haunted One, so my commander gets +2/+0 and Undying when it attacks with some other creatures. And the final mana to recast Master of the Dark Rites. And that'll be my turn. Pass.
Okay. Let's start by getting the Soul Ring back out.
I hate you.
We'll pay 4 for Retreat to Emeria. It is an enchantment with landfall. When a land comes into play, I can either make a 1/1 core ally, or I can buff the team by 1 until the end of my turn. I'm going to play a mountain as land returned, and that'll trigger Retreat to Emeria, and I will get a 1/1 core ally, please. I think once again, we're going to pay 4 and get Jenny back out of my hand. And we'll pass the turn.
I keep thinking you can't do too much because I forget one of your lands is Lotus Field.
Yeah.
And then
It's great.
and then you do it, and it upsets me. I'm going to draw for turn to make myself feel better. I got a land, so I'm going to play that land. I'm going to tap 6 of them. The Consecrated Sphinx. It's a 4/6 flyer, and whenever an opponent draws a card, I can draw 2. I would like to propose a trade deal, Airball.
Okay.
What I get, you let me hit. And what you get is I potentially draw an answer for none of us to die to commander damage next turn.
Sure. Works for me.
All right, I'm going to swing the Bird and the Murmuring Mystic at Airball, which will be 2 damage total. I'm sorry. I'll swing the Bird at CGB since he doesn't have... Wait, do you have a reach on that?
No, and
okay.
I think I've earned the respect of an attack. Thank you.
True. I'll send 1 your way and just the Murmuring Mystic since he can't get through to CGB. We'll go to Airball. That's 1 to each of you.
No blocks here.
No blocks here.
Point.
I will draw 2 cards. Okay, I pass.
I will untap, upkeep, draw.
And I will draw 2. That's better.
Let me play some spells first to just really feel good about this. I'll play this forest. I will tap 2 for an oldie but a goodie. Gaia's Touch. This is an enchantment, and I may play an additional land during each of my turns, but the land has to be a basic forest. I can also sacrifice this whenever I feel like for 2 green mana. If that resolves...
Sounds good with me.
All right, I will put this forest onto the battlefield. Then I'll tap 2, and I'll cast the Skullspore Nexus. Remember this card?
Response.
You don't want to give them a chance to respond?
Oh, sure.
No,
Sure,
by all means.
yeah.
I'm good.
I have no response.
All right. I'm going to tap 1 blue. I'm going to cast Evjur. It's an interrupt because it's that old, but I can sacrifice a blue permanent to counter target spell. I'm going to sacrifice this bird, but Murmuring Mystic will trigger because I'm pretty sure interrupt means instant, and I get a bird. So I'm going to counter the Skullspore Nexus with Evjur.
Evjur might be one of the worst blue counter spells I've ever seen, and it still makes me salty. Is this what getting your spells countered feels like? 'Cause
Yes,
it's
yes, it
really
is.
not like.
Are you having like your Ebenezer Scrooge moment? This is like the ghost of countered spells future.
That might be what's going on. It might also just be pure rage. I'm attempting to equip Tangleweave armor to my commander.
Goodbye,
Yeah.
Germ.
Does that resolve?
Yeah, sure.
Germ dead. Sad. Attempt to move to combat. Maldhound, you're a fabulous blue mage. So I don't know if this will work, but I will find out. Thrasta will attack you.
Impulse, and then I take it. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Oh yeah, I do get a second bird. I am certain the free bounce spell will be among these 4. Okay, I've chosen 1 to go into my hand, and the rest are gonna go to the bottom, and then I'm gonna take 19 commander damage.
Explore. I may play an additional land this turn. I will draw.
Can't stop myself, I'll draw 2.
I will drop this. Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. I'm going to cast Land Grant. I may reveal my hand instead of paying Land Grant's mana cost and search my library for a forest card, put it into my hand, and then shuffle. You guys ready for this? The reveal is a Silverback Elder, a Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia, a Mishra's Bauble, a Hunting Pack, and an Elvish Visionary.
Oh yeah, let's get me though.
I will tap this for green and play an Elvish Visionary. Still reduced by the medallion. If that enters, I will draw a card.
I will draw 2.
I'm learning to look forward to this, even
Yeah.
though you're drawing 2. I don't like it, but I'm getting used to it.
Oh, as if I'm untapping.
I will play Mishra's Bauble. Mishra's Bauble is an artifact. I can sacrifice it to look at the top card of target player's library, and then I draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. I will sacrifice it, of course, to look at the top card of your library, Maldhound. And at that point, I think it's a good spot to pass the turn.
Do I let Maldhound live?
I mean, you can ask pretty much anything of me at this point.
And how many cards do you have?
Don't worry about that.
Every time I try to work with you, Maldhound, you refuse.
It's true. It's true.
All right.
I'm scared of both of them. I do agree that CGB is probably a much bigger threat.
Did you hit your draw step yet?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
I decided to draw.
On your upkeep,
Oh,
I have
sorry.
a Mishra's Bauble trigger, so I will draw a card.
I will draw 2.
All right. I don't know how bad this is gonna get, but we're gonna do something. Is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tap Minced Morgul to add 5 to my mana pool. I'm going to make my commander unblockable with Rogue's Passage. For 2 more, I'm going to Blitz in Nightclubber, a 2/2 that when it comes into play, I give -1/-1 to all creatures my opponents control. And when it dies, I get a draw card because it's blitzed. I'll play a land for turn. It's going to be a Cabal Stronghold. And I'm going to go to combat. And these are coming to CGB. One of them is unblockable. They both get +2/+0 and Undying. So you will lose 4 life because I have all 4 of my party members, and I will get 4 treasures.
I will take 4 non-commander damage, and I will accept 4 commander damage.
I'm going to play a Bitter Blossom for turn. And on my end step, I will have to sacrifice my Nightclubber, and I will get to draw a card. Maldhound will also get to draw some cards. And then it will come back into play with a +1/+1 counter on it from the Undying, giving all creatures my opponents control another, or -1/-1 for 2/2 total.
Okay.
Unfortunately, pass the turn.
Maldhound,
Yeah.
how are you doing over there with respect to dealing with a bunch of possible 4/4s?
I can help us.
I'm going to go straight to combat, and Jenny is coming at CGB.
Yep, nothing.
All right. First hit for 2. We'll explore into a generous gift. I think I will keep that, so we'll put another counter on it, hitting for 3.
Down to 15.
And here's 4 to replay aggressive mining. I will pass.
We'll untap. We'll draw. Now, I have the answer already. That said, I'm still going to tap 3 for Frantic Search to keep looking. I will make a 1/1 bird thanks to the Murmuring Mystic. So I'm going to draw 2, discard 2, untap 3 lands. Okay. The 2 that I'm going to discard are Prismatic Vista because we cannot afford to pay any more life, and Military Intelligence because I'm not going to be aggressive anytime soon. I will untap the 3 lands I used to pay for Frantic Search, and then I will tap 1 for Curiosity onto the Murmuring Mystic. So Curiosity is an enchantment, and whenever the enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, I may draw a card. From there, I'm going to move to combat, and I'm going to swing the Murmuring Mystic at CGB.
Yep, no blocks.
And I will draw 2 cards, 1 from Curiosity, 1 from Bident of Thassa. I'm going to pay 0 for a Memnite. So Memnite is a 0 cost 1/1, and then I'm gonna pay 2 for a Ledger Shredder. Her Ledger Shredder is a 2 mana 1/3 with flying, and whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, Ledger Shredder connives. From here, I am going to pass to my end step. I do need to discard to hand size, so I'm just going to pick the 7 that I want to make this a fair bit simpler. 3.
Well, does anyone have actions on the end step?
Oh,
before you
yes.
make your
Does
decision?
anybody have actions on my end step?
Yeah, let's go for it. I'll sack Gaia's Touch for 2 green, and let's put the hunting pack on the stack. Create a 4/4 beast token, Storm.
Okay. In response,
Whirlwind Denial.
I do not have that. I have something you guys are going to hate so much worse, but I promise I'm going to dig for something that you guys will like more.
What?
I'm going to tap 7, and I'm going to cast Nexus of Fate.
Oh, okay.
Take an extra turn after this one. If Nexus of Fate would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Nexus of Fate and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. With all of these really scary board states, I have been living every turn as if it's my last. But now that I'm getting to take extra ones, I may be able to sneak my way back into this game.
Seems like a really good card.
I'll get Jazzbird back off of Nexus, and I'm going to get one more turn to try to find another trampoline.
Uh-huh.
But I have no responses to that, and it does add to your storm count.
It sure does. 7 beasts.
Oof.
I don't think it matters.
All right, then we're all good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take my next turn.
Comments love it when you do that.
I know. I'm going to untap. I'm going to draw. Move to combat. I'm going to swing both birds at CGB. They're in the air.
Yep.
And so move to declare blocks, which I don't think you can do.
Got nothing.
I will draw 2. Tap 1. I'm going to cast Witness Protection targeting your commander to turn it into a 1/1 legitimate business person with no abilities.
Okay.
And from there, I'm going to spend 3 mana to transmute Muddle the Mixture. Transmuting means for 3 mana and discarding the card, I can search my library for a card with the same mana value as this card, which is 2, reveal it, put it into my hand, and then shuffle. I can transmute only as a sorcery, which is why I'm doing it during my turn. I'm going to grab Resculpt. It exiles target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. I'm going to play War Room as land for turn, and then pass with 7 cards in hand.
Untap. Upkeep. Draw.
Now we'll draw 2.
I can't believe we're still doing this.
This little dance of ours.
I will play a forest. And let's put a Silverback Elder on the stack. This is a 5/7 ape. And whenever I cast a creature spell, I can destroy an artifact or enchantment, or I can look at the top 5 cards of my library and put a land on the battlefield, or I can gain 4 life. Maldhound, I'm not trying to blow up the witness protection. I'm not trying to blow up anything to do with you.
Yeah, that one will resolve.
I'll tap 2 and put a Gwenna Eyes of Gaia on the stack. And that taps for 2 mana in any combination of colors. I can use it to cast creature spells or activate the abilities of creatures. If I cast a creature with power 5 or greater, I put a counter on this and untap it. That will trigger Silverback Elder. And I will choose the mode to gain 4 life.
Because you've cast your second spell,
That's right.
I will connive for Ledger Shredder.
I have all kinds of trust issues. I will go to combat, and I will send the 13/13 Thrasta at Airball.
White to path to exile it?
Okay. You can have witness protection back, and I will search for a forest. Why not? Let's tap 9, because I cast 2 other spells, and I have an Emerald Medallion to attempt to cast Thrasta. Tempest Roar. Does that enter the battlefield? I do have a trigger from the Silverback Elder.
No responses from me.
Me neither.
I'm going to gain 4 life from the Silverback Elder. And I'll put a +1/+1 counter on Gwenna because I cast a creature with power greater than 5. After that, I'm done.
I will lose a life and make a rogue.
CGB is a big problem now with all the life gain, and this is probably the last chance we get to kill him. And I think the best way to do that is commander damage. I humbly request you keep the Rogue's Passage available to get Jenny through.
Can Jenny do that much damage? 11?
12, actually.
12? Maldhound.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to let me do a fun thing because I let you live?
Is the fun thing gonna kill me?
Eventually.
This turn?
No. I will Minas Morgul for 5. 6. And we're going to cast Bolas's Citadel.
Uh-huh.
I get to look at the top card of my library. I can play lands and spells from the top of my library. If I cast a spell this way, I lose life equal to its mana cost rather than paying its cost.
Bolas's Citadel was a fantastic draw. Thanks to all these board clears, nobody has found me to be threatening, so I have a pretty sweet life total at this point, so I can get a ton of value off this.
Sure. I'll play TOA off the top, losing 3 life. And it says at the end step, if a creature has died, I get to lose a life, draw a card. And if 7 creatures have died, I get to lose 7 life and draw 7 cards. And it's a 2/3 with lifelink.
All right, and then I will get a connive trigger on the Ledger Shredder. I am going to discard the Mausoleum Wanderer. So Ledger Shredder will get a 1/1 counter because I discarded a non-land to connive.
And then I will play Malakir Rebirth. I lose 2 life, and I choose a target creature. When this creature dies, return to the battlefield under its owner's control. I'm just gonna put that onto Gonti. I'm just gonna play a Puppeteer Click for 5. He's a 3/2 flyer that when he enters the battlefield, I can put a target creature from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under my control. It gains haste. At the beginning of my next end step, I get to exile it, and it has Persist. I'll take the Visionary. I want to draw a card.
But then what will I do with my graveyard recursion?
So
actual nothing.
Visionary comes in. I will draw a card.
I will draw 2.
I will play a land for turn, Shizo Death's Storehouse. It allows me to pay 1 swamp to give target legendary creature fear. Okay, now we need to go to combat. I will use Shizo's Death Storehouse. Make sure no treasure shenanigans make it so I can't help Airball. I'll use 1 treasure to use the Shizo's Death Storehouse to make my commander unblockable. I'll go to combat, and my commander is going at CGB, and Gonti is going to Maldhound.
In response, return to Monkey. I'm going to cast Pongify and destroy Gonti. You will make a 3/3 green ape creature token. I will make a new bird.
First, we will resolve the commander trigger. So that would be 4 damage for CGB and 4 treasures for me.
Yep.
And then my Gonti will get destroyed. I'll get an ape token. And then because of the rebirth, Gonti will come back and I'll get to look at more cards. I will mill him out with this Gonti.
NerdGirl can rob me as many times as she wants. If she tries to interact with my board, I'll counterspell it and make a bird. And if she interacts with anyone else's board, CGB's, I'll laugh. It's a win-win.
Okay, I'll take this card. 4 damage from the commander, unblockable.
Okay. I will take 4.
I'll pay 4 life off the top just because I want to try to find instance. And we're going to play Shadowheart Dark Justicar, a 3/4. I can pay to sacrifice another creature and draw X cards where that's the creature's power. And 1 for a Vat of Rebirth. Anytime an artifact or creature I control dies, I get to put an oil counter on it, and I can pay 3, remove 4 oil counters, and return target creature card from my graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only the sorcery. Cool. And then I will go to my end step. I have to exile this from the Puppeteer Click. A creature did die this turn, so thanks to my Nurgle, I'll lose a life and draw a card.
I will draw 2 off of you drawing a card for Nerdgirl.
And then I'll pass.
Okay, so I think the plan here is going to be to get Jenny through somewhere. You're the one giving it unblockable.
All right.
Where do you want it to go? Because it will affect how I play main phase 1.
All right. I think any of us can kill you. Maldhound will kill all of us if he untaps. CGB will kill at the very least you if he untaps. So the only deal I can give you is if you do 2 points of damage to CGB, I can use Bolas the Citadel to kill both of them, and it would be 1v1, guaranteeing you at least second place.
Now, second place is first place loser.
All right, here's the deal. I'll let you pick. I will let you pick 5 of those permanents.
Done.
Ooh,
Absolutely done.
dang. Dang, that's Shark
That way
Tank.
you still have a fighting chance, right?
Yep.
I think that's good.
I've been so far out of this game for so long, and Nerdgirl just threw me a lifeline. She's going to kill my 2 biggest opponents at the table and put herself at a low enough life total that maybe I can sneak through for the win.
All right. You are unblockable, sir.
Okay. Go to combat and Jenny attacking CGB unblockable. First hit is going to be for 4, and that'll trigger an Explore.
Yep.
The Explorer is a Hithlean Rope, which I think is past prime, but we'll put another counter on Jenny, and the second hit will be 5.
Okay.
And the second Explore happens. It is a Cascading Cataracts, which I cannot play because of aggressive mining. Pass.
All right. On your end step, we have to do the thing. I'm going to tap Bolas the Citadel to sack 10 permanents.
Can't believe you let that resolve.
Listen, I did not think I was going to get my entire butt eaten by 19 dinosaur damage for a while. I thought I was going to have 10 to play with on the back end of this game.
Okay. 5 targets are going to be Baracus, Shadowheart, Nightclubber, Gaunty, and the Vat of Rebirth.
Okay. My 5 targets are going to be treasures.
All right, trigger on the stack.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay 3, tap War Room, and hope that the stifle that I did not see when I was tutoring for cards earlier has appeared. Huh. Wasn't stifle.
Not it.
Okay.
Okay, so with the Bolas Citadel tapped before you untap, we're going to pay 3 to generous gift it, because otherwise I am dead on board.
Oh, okay.
I still think he's got that. He's got something.
Now we can see if I can close out the game. I'm going to lose a life and get a Fairy Rogue. Okay, we're just going to attack you for, I guess, the bare minimum to prevent you from doing anything too scary. 10. 1 extra 3/3. So that way, 1 extra 3 powered creature. So 1 removal spell won't do it.
And 2 of them fly.
Yes.
Well, we'll start by activating aggressive mining to sacrifice the Elegant Parlor and draw 2. Okay. Then we're going to pay 2 white and float a red to cast Brought Back. I can choose 2 target permanent cards in the graveyard that were put there this turn and put them back into play tapped. So we'll bring back the Elegant Parlor. We'll get a Surveil trigger, and I will get the Field of Ruin into the graveyard.
Mm-hmm. And
that landfall is going to trigger Retreat to Emeria, and I will make a core ally.
In response, I will tap Minas Morgul for 5, and then the Rogue's Passage and the Shizo's Death's Storehouse to make both of the ground creatures unblockable.
Yeah, that's good enough to win.
Okay.
Harmonize and draw 3 cards. Wow, you're that upset about it. You're that upset about it.
You got it.
Yeah, do I?
Yeah.
That sounded like a ooh. I don't think I've heard something suck air that much since the vacuum cleaner malfunctioned.
Wait, wouldn't a malfunctioning vacuum cleaner suck less?
It depends on what you're doing with it.
Oh, no.
I brought the storm, but it wasn't my game today. Nerdgirl brought the party, and it's all hers. Couldn't be happier for her. Now let's start the after party.
One of the easiest ways to support the show without really changing anything for anyone is by getting any of your Magic card singles from Tales of Adventure. They have an incredible selection of both your most basic versions of the cards all the way up to the most premium versions.
I also hear they have excellent jingles. So if you guys would like to support us, make sure you guys head on over to Tales of Adventure or TOA. You can find a link and a discount code for 5% off down below in the description.
I like that card. It's so fun and limited.
Wow, the shade. The shade.
Limited players.
Never miss.
Limited players never miss an opportunity.
It hurts to lose, but the way I was gonna win was by taking 3 extra turns and beating everyone to death with 4 1/1s, and so it will be nice to get invited back to the show instead.
Darn it, 2 blue mages at the table.
We're spreading. The propaganda's working.
Moxfield is the best deck list site available. It has everything you need to customize, compare, and collaborate. View and brew the way that works for you. Moxfield is the only way that we can track and share all of our spiciest builds here on the show, and whatever Veggie is playing. Make sure to follow our Moxfield profile in the link in the description.
Draw.
Can't stop myself, I'll draw 2.
I like how they lock eyes beforehand.
It's like some weird mating ritual.
It's not weird.
Don't make it weird.
weird.
It's not weird, yo.
Hold the 2 blue players in their natural habitat. One draws 1 card, and he waits to see if the other will draw 2. If it does, then that means the mating ritual has been accepted.
I got pretty lucky in this game. Thankfully, CGB was the arch enemy for basically the entire time, so all of our resources went into taking CGB down, and because my deck had so much value, I was able to just sort of clean up the rest. Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories. We love their stuff, and we know you will too. In fact, every single playmat, sleeve, or deck box featured on this show is an Ultimate Guard product.
And we use Ultimate Guard to protect our own personal collections on a day-to-day basis.
So make sure to use the link in the description to support our channel and treat yourself to some amazing upgrades.
Okay, I pass.
What are the shoulder warm? Like get warmed up for
Just
the
getting ready
fight.
to windmill slam it on the
Oh
table.
my goodness.
I looked at 8 cards in his deck. They were all
Yeah, but I got the good ones just now.
At the end of the day, it feels like I was the only one who understood the assignment. Green did giant green things, black did mono black things with Bolus of Citadel, and blue drew practically their entire deck. So I was the only one who broke the color pie and found out why that's a bad idea.
We'd like to take a minute to thank our patrons. Without your support, this show would not be possible. Also, a special thank you to Cheezus for being today's patron sponsor.
And you all are directly responsible for keeping this show weekly, and for all of that, we thank you.
And if you're not a patron but would like to become a part of the show, please head on over to our Patreon where you can unlock a bunch of exclusive perks. Monthly signed tokens, spell table games with us, you can even have your deck list featured on the show.
And as always, you can support us simply by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That is all that we have for you for today. We will see you next time on
Decked Out.